David, I wanted to ask you about Bros at the box office. So this was the very first gay rom-com. Of course, there's been other programs. I'm sorry, movies, but not in terms of a rom-com, and it didn't do so well. But I feel like I don't want to narrate it as such because it still was a really great movie. I actually watched it twice in the theater, but I wanted to get your opinion on how this happened. Was it the marketing, or was it the story wasn't good enough? Or was a little bit of truth to what Billy said, that there was parts of the country where people are still not gonna go watch anything to do with two gay men falling in love. He said it differently than that. People really jumped down his neck about that. What's your overall thoughts on Bros at the box office? Because I feel like it wasn't a failure. Sure, maybe the numbers, but watching it, it was nice. I liked it.
Yeah, and I didn't see his exact statement at all, but I I I agree with all of the above. Like I have had a bunch of I just had Colton Haynes on my podcast. I have Mario Cantone coming up. So this movie came up with both of them. And just as far as where do you think we are? Right, like
Mhm.
Mario Cantone from Sex and the City and just like that, his argument was, don't say it's a failure. It was made. It was made.
Mm.
Like huge accomplishment. And I'm like, all right, I think that's what you were just kind of saying. Right, it didn't do well at the box office. Colton took a totally different approach of because Colton was in American Horror Story. We can talk about Ryan Murphy and Pose and the largest trans cast and all of this.
Mm.
He's like, where is the Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Julia Roberts, where you're making, $25 million and opening a Hollywood blockbuster as a straight person and you're gay in the real world. True.
Mm. Yeah.
So, I agree with Billy. I agree. I agree. I think there's a part of the country that just won't go see it,
Yeah.
which, if you think about it, I'm trying to think. I can think of an example or two, but I'm not even going to quote them because then everyone's going to come for me. But if you think of other movies out there that are specific to a specific demographic or type, we all go see them. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Well, I think Billy, even when he was doing the press tour and he was really working hard on that press tour, he was saying, "Sure, I watched Brokeback Mountain once because it's a story within his community, our community, but I've watched every Meg Ryan rom com ever, but it wasn't for us, but we still gravitated towards it." I also feel like I feel like I'm much more of a rom com fan when it comes to My Best Friend's Wedding, or even like a Harry Met Sally. The Judd Apatow style is it almost feels very straight straight man-ish, so maybe there was a little bit of that. Watching it the second time, I liked it more. The first time I watched it, it felt like it was, I was just looking at the cast a little bit too much and kind of seeing who's on the screen or not. But the second time I was like, oh yeah, this is cute, this is lovable. Of course, the Provincetown scene was absolutely fantastic. The monologue that he had, or the conversation that he had, was great. So there was a lot to it, and I just feel like the way people react always tells the real story. So if he said, something along the lines of, there's certain parts of the country that are still homophobic, I feel like if it wasn't true, people wouldn't have reacted so negative. Sometimes they need that one comment to just, they don't want to say anything to begin with, but you just got to slip once. And I'm not saying Billy slipped, but you got to slip just once. And then they're like, well, no, it's because this, and I didn't like the content. And sometimes the reaction was so vile on the internet. It was like, that's kind of what he was saying, that y'all don't fuck with us. Really.
Exactly. So I thought I agreed with him. I
Yeah.
agree with him. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I could see straight men on a date with a woman who wants to watch this and they go, but I mean, I guess if you think about it, I could see people saying I'm not seeing that, which is alarming, but I agree with him. I do.
Yeah, and the marketing was a little tough because it felt like it was aimed towards a straight audience in a way. Like, hey, it's just like another Judd Apatow movie, but it is different. Like Billy was even saying in interviews, love is love is love, but no, it's not. We're trying to be similar, but the different elements of being in a heterosexual relationship is different than being in a gay relationship. And I just thought it was done well, and I like that you said that Mario Cantone stated that it's not a failure. That's right. I don't even like to word it like did bad at the box office. I'm more just saying, unfortunately, it didn't bring in tons, at the box office because now we don't look at a season 2 episode, second movie. We don't get to see that now.
I think I did say something like, it wasn't a hit or something at the box office. And yes, he quickly corrected me of like, I don't like that narrative. I mean, he was very nice about it. I mean,
Yeah.
that comes out this Wednesday, but he was, and then, yes. And then Colton had the opposite
Oh,
statement.
but what does he know? Just kidding.
Like, just of like, and it wasn't even about bros, just about like, as like, we have a long way to come in Hollywood because where is the person that's opening the movie? That's like, where is the Brad Pitt?
Why isn't Matt Bomer playing like Superman or what was it, the great,
Yes.
what was 50 Shades of Grey, like where it's just like he's still playing that straight character. Cheyenne Jackson on a sitcom though does play a straight man, which I thought was pretty cool, but that's still not, it's in the sitcom-y fun stages.
Yeah, it's like Mayim Bialik and it's Fox, and it's not like, like, no offense to Cheyenne Jackson, but he doesn't have George Clooney or Julia Roberts or Brad Pitt money. Like, that's what he's saying. Like, where is that mega star? Where is that Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman man that opens a movie and is like, I am gay, but here I'm playing the love interest. It doesn't
May I
exist.
say, side note, I
Yes.
love Call Me Kat. I think it is the cutest sitcom ever. I'm obsessed with Mayim Bialik. Leslie Jordan's on that. Kyla Pratt's on that. It's
hurts. Like, hello.
so good. So good.
It's one of those shows that just started. And when I had Cheyenne Jackson on my show, he was like, when it came to this, he was like, I'm not just saying this. This is probably like the best job of my whole career. I can't tell you how fun this is. It's a cute little show.
Yeah, I think it was from the UK first. It was called Miranda, and now it's here on its third season. It was one of those shows when I watched it at the beginning, I said, "Oh God, I like this." Oh no, don't say that, Ronnie, because sometimes when I like something, it doesn't come back. And it's had a third season, and I just think what a great vehicle for Mayim Bialik. I mean, even her podcast is really good. She's just such a unique actress, and she's had this huge career. Going back to Beaches, even as a child. I just like it so much. That's a great side note.